All right, Jason Rice here. Another Lap Party quick tip. Gosh, it's good to be back in the office. I hope some of you guys are back to somewhat normal. I know there are a lot of counties still just opening up. We've been able to go out to eat a couple times here, which has been nice. We've had, what's up, Adam? We've had some, let's see, May 11th, 16 days. So here locally, just give you a heads up, here locally, we've all our numbers going down. We did have a spike a couple days ago, but that was at a, not to discredit it, but it was at a homeless or elders home. And a lot of it was the staffing there. But anyways, I hope a lot of people get somewhat back to normal, did get to go out to eat. I know Memorial Day was kind of a big thing for people. And hey, what's up, Jason Church? Hey, so here's my used car / economy predictions. I added that in there because I think they go hand in hand here. And it has to do with stocking, has to do with wholesale. I've seen a lot of dealers and a lot of our dealers actually selling a lot more than they're carrying. Having some pretty successful months here, which is good. And even a little bit, that's, I would say, surprising, because a lot of people think it's weird how the stock market stayed strong. Again, they're looking toward the future. I think, some of the money that's been pumped into some of the companies and stuff to keep them afloat. I think people realize it can only go up from here. And so, I do believe people are out buying cars because they're going to be more dependent on it. They're going to probably fly less and drive more. They're probably going to be staycations, or they're upgrading from a car to maybe an SUV minivan just to give them room to go on some road trips. I think that's going to happen. From my understanding, the RV business is picking up. I know we've camped twice already and already had 3 other trips going scheduled out. So I think, transportation wise, I think people are starting to realize and be more dependent on the cars. And so the whole Route 66 might pop back up again. So that's a good thing for the industry. But I do think, this uptick that a lot of dealers are seeing right now are based on, usually March and April are the stronger inventory or sales months, and mid-April going into May tends to slow down as the weather breaks. People get distracted with doing their mulch, and the kids sporting events are picking up, and graduation ceremonies, and kids moving back from college. There's just a lot of going on going into May. So usually it starts slowing down about now, but everybody's picking up. So I think it's the hangover from that March, April, and people are getting it in May and June right now. Usually July, August picks up with summer sales events with manufacturers. So activity starts picking back up. And then that still may happen if the manufacturers need to push. But from my understanding and speaking to dealers with a lot of manufacturers, I spoke to a dealer that has, I think, 9 different stores, and he was afraid that he's running out of new cars. So do they really need to push any kind of stimulus on these new cars? Silverados are almost depleted out there. The dealer said in Subaru, they're basically going to be dried up. Whatever they have there, that's it. So they might not have to do a big push on new cars based on that supply-demand dynamic. And they might want to stretch those cars out throughout the year before they can start really building out the 2021s. So with that being said, there could be more dependence on used, which would be great. Especially, I did an article mid-April saying that the OEMs should wrap their arms around certified, waive fees, and get waive fees to dealers for certifying the car, offer like 0% for 60 months, defer payments on these certified as good alternatives from new if new inventory is not going to be there. So what is up, Jason and Steven? Thanks for joining. And so if that happens, that could drive more used activity, which is great because there's abundance of supplies out there. And you all may have seen the pictures and the videos of these rental car companies holding up these cars at stadiums across the country from Atlanta to LA. And so Now, those rental car companies, as business picks back up, even as Hertz filed bankruptcy, doesn't mean they're getting depleted. So they're still going to be in business, but they probably need to liquidate a half or 2/3 of their inventory. But also, so is the enterprises and everybody. Those other rental fleet companies don't need those cars. So they are going to come. Now, everybody's saying the wholesale's still kind of high. Everybody's running short on inventory. They think the supply is not there, but it's going to be there. All these lease returns. I mean, literally, I've seen dealers saying, they've been sitting on cars that have been leased returns, waiting for the OEM to pick them up for 2, 3, 4, 6 months now. These cars are just piling up on dealers' lots, and the manufacturers won't pick them up to take them to the lane. And so my prediction is nothing's going to happen on that wholesale unless one of these big companies need the dam to break. So if Hertz has to liquidate, and they have to by a certain time, they're gonna. One of my dealers, I believe, he said they had 18,000 cars on a list they can buy from. Hertz brought them a list. They have 18,000 cars that they can actually start buying. So once the floodgate opens up there, is it like the stock market? If things start dropping, do people start selling real quick and sell while they can get the money? Or that's what I think is going to happen. I do think, this is my prediction where I can be wrong, but I do think June, July, I said this on Jim Ziegler's show, I think June, July, we see another 10 to 15% hit if that happens. I do think these rental car companies are going to have to liquidate cash flow. I do think come June, more layoffs are going to happen. I do think then people are going to start puckering up the spring sell season. People replace what they needed to replace. They got their cars that they needed. They got their tax return, stimulus check, whatever, and they're going to be hunkering down a little bit because I don't think we've seen the true economy yet. Everybody's kind of in limbo land going, okay, I got either if they're unemployed, heaven forbid, but there's extra money there to help sustain. There's money to companies. So it's kind of this false positive going on with that. There's kind of that high on the economy. The stock market's still strong. But if there's big layoffs come in June, which I do think there's going to be some coming, I do think people start slowing down their buying habits. So this as a warning, I would tell dealers, obviously stay lean and clean. Somebody commented on one of my posts earlier saying, yeah, they're having a great month too, and they're going to sell like 90 with 70 in stock or 60 in stock. A lot of our stores are doing it, selling 150 with 70 in stock. So don't get over anxious and grabbing and buying everything you can, especially at a higher value. I'm just guessing, speculating here, but I do think if the floodgates open with the enterprise and the Hertzes and these OEMs start liquidating inventory, because they're going to have to. Now, the only way that this does not happen in my eyes is if they can continue to hold back the inventory. I don't think that's going to happen, because think of all these baseball fields, racetracks that are holding these cars. Their seasons are starting to pick up. NASCAR's already starting to trying to get the races going again. At some point in time, baseball's going to try to open back up and clear out the stadium for some attendance, possibly. At some point in time, those cars have to go somewhere. So the only way that these values, at least the value stay high, if they can trickle out this inventory and stretch it out over the next 8 months, then maybe value stay high. But my guess is even the good rental companies that have cash flow, they're gonna need to liquidate at some point in time, and these cars are gonna get released. So that's where I think by June, July, we're gonna see another probably 10 to 15% swing. Be my guess. If I'm right, I'm right. If not, I think you're always safe. If I'm wrong, I think you're always safe staying lean and clean, and don't get over anxious, because this is what happens a lot of times in March and April. We get people have January, February sales. March picks up. They go into March, going into April. They keep buying at March sale rates, and next thing you know, come May, they're sitting a bunch of age cars because the market shut off, and they're looking back, and the cars that are aged now in their lot in May are cars they bought back in March when the market was high, and they're buried, and they're using June, July and stuff to get out of this stuff, May, June, and July, to clean up their age again. So I think that's the window of time we're in right now. Can only guess. So that's my predictions, where things are going. I think, again, there's probably some layoffs going to be coming in June. There's some big ones. I think it's June and July. At some point in time, these rental cars are going to get flooded, OEMs, and everybody's going to try to dump real fast to try to get the money before they drop even more. Keep an eye on what these rental car companies own. All you got to do is go to Hertz Cars for Sale and do a 1,000-mile radius and see, do they have a bunch of Nissan Rogues in stock? Go get off of those. If you got them in stock, avoid those cars basically. Or if you can buy them on the cheap, if you get them cheap, price them cheap, get off of them. Don't price them up to current retail thinking you can hold it, because all of a sudden you're going to be stuck with these cars in a while. Mike, or called direct to consumer retail sale. Yeah, rental. I don't know if Mike is asking would they direct to customer rental sales. And they already do that. They could step it up a bit. My guess is they try to shove it down Carvana, but I don't even know if Carvana can hold those cars. Rentals will, Rich is saying rentals will liquidate business. Luxury travel way off, will not return in a while. Agreed. So yeah, good point, Rich. Like I said, I think people are going to road travel. If I need to get to Florida, do I want to load my family up into a plane around a bunch of people, then go rent a car that somebody else has had, then sit in a hotel room that somebody else has had, or maybe eliminate two of those things? If I can drive my car there, right, and eliminate the airplane and the rental car, and then maybe stay at a hotel or a B&B or something, Airbnb, or maybe, again, RV seems to be picking up. So I hope this is helpful. It's getting a little long-winded. I'm going to end it here. If you need free inventory evaluation, lotpop.com. Got cool new software out right now. I'll give you daily data, 2-week sale rate data to stay away from 30 and 45-day metrics that are going to be a little bit tough right now, or to add to those metrics, because, again, I think those are valuable metrics, but you need to look at a quicker sale rate. So lotpop.com if you need free inventory evaluation. Hope this was helpful.